Welcome back to Press Review, and let's start as usual with the front pages here in the UK. Starting with The Independent, which features a headline saying that Liberal Democrat Rod Rennert feels he is a victim in the groping scandal which saw him accused of sexually harassing female Lib Democrats. Rennert, who has denied the allegations, said he had given his life to the party and was in danger of suffering a stroke or heart attack. The paper also reveals that the coalition has been under mounting pressure from the Conservative and Lib Democrats MPs to admit Syrian refugees to Britain. Mike Harper, the immigration minister, has said the UN plan for Western countries to accept 30,000 Syrians will have only a token impact. The Guardian says that the huge evidence smuggled out of Syrian prisons has shown the systematic killing of detainees in Syrian prisons. The paper also features a picture of Italian conductor Claudio Abbado, saying leading figures in the music world mourned his death yesterday, aged 80. The Telegraph front page says Lord Rennert had been accused of smearing his alleged victims after claiming he has devastating evidence that undermined their testimony. Rennert has been suspended by the Lib Democrats for refusing to apologise to female accusers. And the Times also mentions the Rennert case, saying Nick Clegg is engulfed in crisis after a botched attempt to contain the scandal. The Times also said Britain's economy is bouncing back faster than any major trading nation, according to an International Monetary Fund. And now let's take a look at the top stories in the Middle East. The Oman Tribune features a headline saying Iran halted on Monday production of 20% enriched uranium, bringing into force an interim deal between Tehran and world powers on its disputed nuclear program. And the UAE's Khaleej Times says that a series of measures have been unveiled to offer incentives to stimulate Dubai's hospitality sector, as the number of new hotels is set to increase, according to a leading global real estate consultancy. And the Daily Star from Lebanon reports on increasing division between pro- and anti-Assad sides in the Lebanon, saying relative calm has prevailed in the northern Lebanese city of Tripoli following a night of clashes between opponents and supporters of the Syrian president. The paper also reports that the UN warns that more people will be displaced in Iraq following an assault on Al-Qaeda-linked fighters holding parts of a city west of Baghdad. The National reports that the decision by Abu Dhabi's municipality to build 5 new motorway rest areas will improve road safety in the UAE. The paper also reports that the weather has caused a flu outbreak in the Emirates. Now let's take a look at the top headlines from international papers. The Washington Post features an article saying that the UN has rescinded Iran's invitation to Syria talks, culminating a day of chaotic international diplomacy that included a loud US objection to Iran's participation and a threat by the Syrian opposition to boycott the talks. Under intense American pressure, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon rescinded the invitation to Iran, issued only 24 hours earlier. The Washington Post also writes that oil is now seen as a saving factor in South Sudan's independence. The precious commodity is pushing South Sudan's neighbors and biggest foreign backers to help end the month-old conflict between the government and the rebels, as both China and Kenya back peace talks. And from Canada, the Edmonton Journal reports on a pair of brothers who have waited years for justice to catch up with 2 fraud artists whose false statements seriously damaged the brothers' solid business reputation and caused untold anguish in wealthy Edmonton family. And the Times of India writes that the state cabinet on Monday approved a 20% power tariff cut for Maharashtra, except for much of Dubai. And the St. Petersburg Times says an Islamic extremist group has promised to deliver a deadly present to visitors of the upcoming Sochi Winter Olympics, as law enforcement authorities have said a potential suicide bomber have traveled to Sochi from Dagestan. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. And that was it for today. My colleague Carmen will be with you tomorrow for another press review.